I love Vidal Blanc, and I particularly love it with pork. I tried a lot of different recipes with this Vidal Blanc, and I settled on one that I hope you're really going to enjoy. It's a pork tamale, and it's really easy to make. So you're gonna start off with about 3 pounds of pork. Now you can use a pork loin, a pork tenderloin, you can use a shoulder roast, anything that you have, and it is gonna turn out great no matter what it is. And I just wanna sprinkle this with salt and pepper. Let's get that into that hot oil. Now once this is seared all over, I'm going to add some flavor components. This is an ancho chili. You can find these in a lot of supermarkets. They're dried, they're mild, but they add great flavor. And these are New Mexico chilies, also mild, but add great flavor. So when you're looking for a chili to use, you can use hotter ones, but what I'm going for here is not hot, but instead I'm going for flavor. And then I'm going to use about 6 or 7 cloves of garlic, just thrown in for a great measure. Okay, and I've got just a speck of color on the bottom. So I'm going to top this with 2 cups of chicken stock. Now as soon as that comes to a boil, let's pop it in a 350-degree oven for about 2.5 hours. So I'm going to pull that out, and then I want to slice it from the wet side. It just slices a little bit better. Now, what you're going to find is if this is done right, it's going to kind of shred just like that, just like you're seeing here. Instead of slicing so much, it just kind of falls apart. Now I want to take those peppers out, and what I'm looking to do is to get all of the inside of the pepper into my dish. So just separate that pepper, and the skin is going to be really tough. So what you want to do is just kind of scrape gently with the back side of your knife, with the blade of your knife, and just get that meat of the pepper out. There won't be a lot. These are very thin peppers, very paperish, but get out everything that you can. Now, it's a little bit different with the ancho. It's just slightly thicker, so you can usually get just a little more meat from that. Then let's put that in our mixture, and I'm going to take all of those garlic cloves and just give them a little chop. Now let's build that flavor profile just a little bit more. I'm going to add some fresh garlic that I've minced, and then I've minced up a bunch of cilantro. So when you're mincing cilantro, you just want to make sure that you run your knife through really well, kind of pulling those leaves together, and never mince up the stems. They can be just really harsh in a recipe, so you want leaves only. So let's just kind of stir that through a little bit. So it's still just a little bit dry. You don't want these too wet, but you definitely don't want them so dry that they don't have flavor. So in my bowl, I have some masa, and then I just add some warm water. Now you want to add enough water so that when you're pulling this together, it can be kind of soft, but you don't want it to be runny. Now I have some corn husks soaking here in some warm water, and you just want to make sure that the corn husks are nice and soft. So let's take one and another. All right, now let's take about a golf ball size glob, and we just want to smooth that out. Just smooth it. Okay, now let's take a little bit of that pork. So beautiful. And you can see I've got a little juice there in that one, not a problem. And then for this style, I just want to roll it. So I'm going to roll and kind of pinch back to make sure I have everything together. And then I want to take the ends and just wrap them with a string and tie it off. Then these are ready to go in our steamer, and then we'll plate them up. These look amazing. I love a good tamale. So what you're gonna do is just untie it and then unwrap. Simple as that. Oh, this looks wonderful. Oh, it smells so good. Just look at that tamale. This beautiful tamale with this delicious masa. What you want to do is to have your guests just unwrap those. Have some salsas available in case they want some sort of salsa on this. But it's just delicious. Oh my goodness. Let's just give it a try. So good. Let's try it with this Vidal Blanc. This is fresh and really light. The great thing about this is the sweetness of the Vidal Blanc works really, really well with the flavor components, the garlic, the little bit of pepper. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. First of all, pork with Vidal Blanc is just a natural. But with these particular flavors and this particular acidity and sweetness, it's just an amazing combination, and I hope you'll love it.